The truth is that a lot of us don't date our wants, we date our wounds. Like the person that we're trying to date, the reason we always have the wrong person or why relationships fail so often is because we stay in one things way longer than we should have. We stay in certain situations despite all the other circumstances, but we stay in things that we know are killing us way too long. Two, we keep looking for the same person that we couldn't save in other places to save them in this one. So you're looking for a common trait that's often a toxic trait. We don't look for the things that we're used to because we are conditioned to think that's what we deserve. We keep looking for that and we keep falling into that because that's the thing that we've always lived with. And three, we tend to think that we don't deserve better. Like we tend to underplay who we actually are and what we deserve. Now, I'm not saying have these like insane standards that don't make sense and are just not rational within what you could even provide. But we tend to downplay ourselves and stay in that type of person because we think that that's the type of person we deserve. I need you to understand that the person that made you cry and that left you and that doesn't care about you is not the person that you were meant to marry. Like the person that treats you poorly and makes you beg them to see them or spend time with them or for the bare minimum, that's not the person that was meant for you. And I use air quotes for that to be very clear that you are searching for someone that has no business in your life. So the reason that we keep meeting the same person in different bodies is because we think that that's it. That's all we deserve. We put them on this pedestal that is absurd, that they don't even belong on. But because of our rationalization of it, we have created a person that we can never heal from because they are better in our mind than they actually are. And the truth about humans, just in general, that our nervous system doesn't seek love. It seeks familiarity. It seeks to go back into something that it's already been conditioned. And so if the style of love that you've seen in your life, the style of love that you received, your family, all those things has always been toxic and chaotic, then guess what? That's what you think is normal. And when we sit with this, because you can change this, right? This is completely something that we have power over. I'm not saying it's easy, but you have rational power over this. When you sit here and analyze this and say, well, the reason I like to argue or to fight is because that's what I was taught. That's what my quote unquote love looked like for so long. And we fall into this rut. This is why so many people, their type is the reason they're miserable. Like the type of man, the type of woman that they keep going after is not someone that's healthy for them. It's just someone that's familiar to them. So when they've known toxicity, when they've known arguments, when they've known fights, then they think that this is what is good for them. They will stay in a place where they're not loved or valued because it's just familiar to how they've been treated before. You deserve real and full, authentic love, not partial love, not argumentative love, not just this convenient love, not clearance rack love, which is one of the interesting things that we look at, that if you are selling yourself short, it's because you're putting yourself on clearance for a person that couldn't afford you otherwise. We need to understand that there is a difference between chemistry and trauma. A lot of people are not compatible through their emotional states. They're compatible to their negative emotional states. They are compatible to the trauma that they've gone through, the things that they've experienced, and thinking that that's love, thinking that that's where they belong. And the worst part of all this is that most people will live their entire lives thinking that they're not lovable, thinking that they're not good, just because that's all they've ever experienced. It breaks my heart because we've fallen into this rut of just being miserable for no reason. Just the condition that we've had to give ourselves, the position that we put ourselves when it comes to romantic relationships, it hurts all of us. And what happens is that we create a culture of broken people dating in a broken relationship cycle that are continuously hurting each other. And we blame everyone else. And then we say, well, this is what relationships are like, and this is what dating is like, and it's not. And again, I'm no expert. I'm not perfect. My life is far from it. And I've had all these issues, but I'm so thankful to God that I've been able to sit here and really analyze these things and not remain in things longer than I needed to just for me to learn my lesson. I think at some point we need to learn from other people's mistakes. Learn from our own, but also learn from others. Learn that's actually what wisdom is. Going into something and realizing that you don't want to repeat patterns that your family has repeated or that your friends have repeated, or seeing these things and being able to identify it and not allow your emotions to overshadow your logic. The one thing that we suffer the most from is that we're emotional beings. So we run on emotion before logic. There's a part of your brain, the amygdala, where it's a processing center. And what happens is that we tend to just run right away, right? That part of our brain that causes us to just respond in everything, the thalamus, right? So we are just responding to something in an instance. But what happens if you stop? If you take a second and just think, you create the space for logic to hold on to something. So next time they're responding emotionally in relationships or just in arguments in general, take a second and just let things process. We're emotional, and that's okay. It's good to be emotional. It's good to feel. But it's not good to remain in that thing. It's not good to create this dependency on your emotions. And the reality is that the neuroscience says this, right? It says your brain is literally running and a casting call based on your earliest attachment experiences. So it's trying to bring these things back up. It's trying to bring back your past, and it's trying to connect places that don't make sense to connect. And you're not there anymore, or you're not living in that thing. We have to stop allowing the toxic relationships that we've been in to overshadow the things that we deserve, to overshadow the good that you deserve. You are worthy of love, and at some point we need to come to terms with the fact that you will be loved. Like, there is a reality that if we learn to feel full for us and love us fully, we'll allow the right people to love us completely. We'll create space to receive that. And I know we live in such a dreary and dark world where everyone's like, I will never be loved and no one will ever love me. That's a lie. That's a lie. You create this border around yourself that you don't allow anyone in because you've believed that. But this is what happens when we have this negative attachment to things and to people. We have this emotional manipulation that we allowed ourselves to feel and to go through, that we believe that we're not that. So what we do is called self-sabotaging or self-fulfilling prophecy. You allow and guarantee that you will never feel that love. You don't put yourself in a place to actually receive that disposition because it's not real to you. And if we continue to stay in that, we'll hurt ourselves. The reason you keep choosing them is because you haven't resolved from them. You haven't allowed everything to actually pan out the way it's supposed to. You don't sit there and analyze those thoughts. So we have to break those patterns, right? And there's practical things that we could actually do. It's interrupting a pattern. It's knowing that you keep choosing these people because you have experience with it. But just because you have experienced suffering doesn't mean it's your job to continue to suffer. Like, just because you've gone through something doesn't mean it's your job to continue to go through it. It's not your job to continue to stay in something that's hurting you just because you know what the pain feels like. At the end of the day, it's okay to let go of things, even if you don't feel like they're complete, even if you don't feel like you have done everything you wanted to do in it, but you know that you're hurt and you need to walk away from it. You will stay in the same pattern with the same person looking for the same thing forever if you allow them to have that power.